Hello, everyone. I'm Betty. Welcome back and Happy New Year, Happy January. Hope you've all had some downtime and enjoyed your holidays. First, I'd like to apologize for my disappearance the last couple of months. It turned out to be a very strange and challenging time for me. I had completely lost my voice for 3 weeks and then had numerous unavoidable obstacles, which I'm sure you can all relate to. So, needless to say, nothing was produced, but it was a great reminder for me to just rest, surrender, and be patient when there are things that are out of your control and there's nothing you can do about it. So, I was silent on all my platforms, which I have to admit was kind of nice because it gave me that space and time to reevaluate and look at things in a different light, a different perspective. So I'm sure many of you have been feeling the same exact way. We've all been experiencing many obstacles and challenges. And while the world may be looking very bleak at this time, it is also a time of great transformation. And I'm sure you have felt that. Certain things tugging on you to shift and to change. For example, last month, my daughter and I were on vacation in Las Vegas, and I was sleeping, and she got up to get ready for the day. And as soon as I woke up, I heard her from the other room, "Mom, we have a ghost in the room." She then told me that the lights were flickering, the temperature sensor kept going off, and her bath towel was hurled across the room. Now, mind you, I find this amusing as my daughter has had to deal with this from my non physical friends and foes over the years and at a very early age. So, this wasn't anything new for her. And they also do this when they're trying to get her attention because she doesn't always acknowledge them. So, they find if they throw something, it gets her attention. So when I checked in, I felt no threat. It was actually very heightened energy. So I started to wonder, I said, well, maybe it's Elvis. We happened to be staying in his hotel and his memorabilia was everywhere. And so I thought, well, you never know if he's popping in to say hi. But when I sat down with the energy, it was Master Merlin and Archangel Shamuel, along with my parents, my grandparents, and my ancestors. And my parents were the ones who were throwing the towels at her. So again, I find that funny, trying to wake her up. But Merlin had said to me that it was a time of great change for my family and shared that the lack and poverty had been embedded in our ancestral DNA, which was one of desperation and survival. And by transmuting these old energies, our lineage would be delivered from bondage. And Archangel Shamuel said that through my transformation, abundance and freedom would now flow, and that my ancestors were surrounding and supporting me throughout this process as I was not only releasing my distortions and traumas, but all of theirs as well. And in that moment when he said that, I felt the weight of them on my shoulders, knowing what that meant. And it was like I was taking on everybody's, which kind of made sense to me, all that I've been through in my life. So it was like, oh, the light bulb went off, and I go, oh, I understand it now. And for the first time on this planet, within this timeline, is now possible to release all of the suffering that had plagued my ancestors for eons. So, you can think about, if you were a caveman constantly in fear and running for something that was going to eat you, you understand it's these deep embedded fears from one trauma after another within each incarnation. But it's not just me. There are thousands upon thousands of volunteers who came to the earth for this very same reason. It is a part of their mission to assist in releasing these imprints and clearing the path not only for ourselves, but for our ancestors and our line. So these volunteers have accepted the task of doing the heavy lifting for the planet, our past, and future generations by releasing these embedded patterns. So you may have recognized yourself certain genetic traits that run in your family tree, such as drug addiction, alcoholism, anger, lack, unworthiness, domination, and so on. And you may have dealt with these traits in your life. So wherever you are within your healing process and this resonates with you, now is the time to ask Source, the universe, your guides, your ancestors, to help you recognize these imprinted patterns so they may be dissolved and erased. Because when you are able to help yourself, you're then helping to heal your own ancestral lineage and raise the vibration of the planet. And your ancestors, guides, and angels are forever grateful for your acts of service in doing this. So you can kind of self-check and see where you're at with that. And if it resonates, then go ahead and release whatever you can during this time, because it helps everyone. Okay, so let's take a sneak peek into 2025. There was so much information. I couldn't possibly fit it all in, so I'll just be doing a little bit as we go along. So right now we're wavering between multiple timelines, but there are three major ones that hold the highest probabilities. So staying in the highest frequency results in the highest outcome for everybody. In 2025, it will challenge us to live more from our hearts rather than our head, and for us to be very vigilant with our thoughts, words, and deeds as they create our reality and which timeline we'll end up into. So if you go into the fear mode, that's going to raise the collective frequency. So no matter what you're going through, try to always have that frame of reference and catch yourself. What vibration am I emitting right now? And let me change it quickly. Because what you focus on becomes your reality. So if you're anxious and worried, you create a world that is fearful. If you focus on love and grace, you create abundance. So just keep remembering that. And even though the outer world doesn't look good, you hold the power to change it by asking for the highest outcome and sending your love light out to all people and all circumstances. Whether you agree with them or not, when you throw your light on them and the intention is love, it changes the circumstances. Now, 2025 also starts a 5 to 7 year period where we are heading into rougher waters, so to speak, as we continue to deconstruct our old system. This allows for us to revise and rebuild so we may walk into a higher timeline that's beneficial for everyone. So remember, as you create your reality, you are also creating as part of the collective. Everything you do sends out a frequency that gets added to the collective consciousness. So please be aware of the power of you and the responsibility that you hold. Now in 2025, we will also see increased sightings from both air and water from our galactic friends. They have always been with us. They've been in, on, and around the earth, monitoring us and protecting us for eons. And our galactic neighbors will make themselves known in 2026, where there can be no doubt of their existence. Once they make their presence known, we will experience an accelerated leap, both in conscious awakenings and in technology. We will also witness pioneering technology in all sectors that will help humanity and the planet. They're giving me the example of the flying cars, where, yes, thank you, which the first one goes on sale this year, and it's called Aleph. And you can either drive it on the street, or it will do a vertical takeoff and fly. I think it gets an average of 300 miles. And you can get your license now and purchase it if you can afford the $300,000 price tag. But this is our future. And of course, with everything is higher priced in the beginning, and then it becomes more manageable for everyone. Now, the governments have been aware of our galactic friends, and many countries are in contact. But some refuse to let the public know for many reasons. One, they're afraid of losing power. Another is, well, the public can't handle it. And then they would have to also confess that they've known about our brothers and sisters since the 1940s, and who knows, maybe before that. And then they'd also have to reveal secret projects and so on. So there are countries that are hesitant because once they arrive, it will change the playing field. And again, this timeline depends on us. If we're not prepared vibrationally, they will wait till we are. So 2026 looks like they're going to come, but we have to have that vibrational state. So again, that importance of keeping our light shining bright so we can have them reunite with us again and move us forward. Okay, so many of you have been worried about the drones that have been over New Jersey, the military bases, and other countries. Know that they come from multiple sources. There are those that are from the Galactic ships and are there for our protection. There are also foreign based surveillance drones, as well as US drones. I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but I will speak more about this within our community if you'd like more information. Just know that the Galactics will not allow any nuclear bombs, for what happens here ripples across the solar system. So they're not going to allow us to damage or destroy ourselves in any way, shape, or form. We are also experiencing a tremendous amount of misinformation at this time. There's a lot of flip-flopping, especially in the news, the papers, social media. So please use your discernment, stay heart-based, and tap into your intuition for your own answers. Because of this miscommunication and this misinformation, it's intended to divide us and take sides and get us riled up. Well, why isn't this being done, and how come this is? There is so much stuff going on behind the scenes that they are not telling us and we are not privy to, and some is for shadow work, and some is they're trying to shift things so we don't have issues. So if you're not being told, or okay, they're giving me the example of Roswell, right? Oh, it was a weather balloon, okay? Because they don't want to release certain information because it could jeopardize the US and other countries. So just have patience again and use your own intuition to kind of tap in and go, well, how do I really feel about this? Does that feel true? Get your own answers. Now, people are also have had it up to here with being oppressed, and many governments will experience a change of leadership and power. Quiet revolts are already going on all around the world, where people feel they have been taken advantage of and have lost all confidence in their governments. And there will be some shocking events and outcomes this year. But again, it's so we can shift and change things. And this energy also gives us the desire and the push to revise and restructure what isn't working. So instead of keeping the status quo, we need to equalize the playing field by making our presence known and saying, we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to be violent about it, but we're not going to take this anymore. And this is what needs to change. Otherwise, we will vote you out. We will get rid of you and find somebody who wants to do well for the people. And this includes the US as well. And the masters are saying to me now, which I would never say this, but they're saying it, it's not over until the fat lady sings. So in other words, the US will encounter a major plot twist that most will not see coming. And we just have to see how that unfolds, as well as exposure in the US of backroom deals and crimes against humanity. It can no longer be hidden or no longer be tolerated. So you can expect to see major events happening this year. Moving on to the financial sector, people, as you know, are buckling under the weight of food costs, rent, mortgages, gas prices. We are paying so much more and receiving so much less. And this is also well intended to keep us oppressed and keep us down so we can't change things because we're too focused on our own personal agenda, so to speak. We have to take care of ourselves. We can't look at the bigger picture. So again, that this is intended to keep us down. We will also see banks closing, employees being laid off. Credit card companies are claiming major losses and in turn raising percentage rates to make up for it. This is going to be a huge issue too, and hopefully, depending what happens in the next year, there will be a freeze or a certain percentage rate that they cannot raise it higher than X amount. We're also this sector is also going to be changing because we need to take a look at it and who is it serving. Instead of benefiting the 1%, it needs to benefit the whole, everyone. So another big shift happening. And insurance companies are also pulling out and hiking prices because they know big events are going to happen and they don't want to be responsible for them. They don't want to have to replace your house if it's flooded or it gets destroyed in an earthquake. So this is leaving people very vulnerable. And eventually insurance will be something of the past. As they see it's no longer profitable, they're just going to be pulling out. And on the physical plane, there will be increased earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes. This too, as we've spoken about before, is part of the process. And it's not just happening in one or two countries. Every country is feeling it in one way, shape, or form. You can see the pattern and the ripple effect that's going around the world. Excuse me one second. My voice still isn't back to normal. They're saying a lot of throat chakra action going on for a lot of us. So excuse me if I'm raspy. So the master's advice have suggested simply be prepared as you would for any storm that you knew was coming. You know, have your batteries, extra supplies, you know the drill. And just make sure you're good for 1 or 2 weeks and it'll be fine. But you can see everything in our reality is changing, and we are here at this time to shake it up, to make the changes in a non-violent way. So in 2025 in numerology, it is considered a 9-year, and it's the end of a phase with different aspects of your life, the planet, government, and society. Now, this is not a bad thing unless you see it as such. It is simply another cycle ending, so a new era can begin. And to remember that there are always two sides of the coin. So if it doesn't look good, just flip it. Why not just flip it and look at the other side? There's always a reason something happens for you to see something differently. The 9 also represents service to humanity, philanthropy, leadership. So you may feel drawn to be a leader or part of a community that benefits something you feel very strongly about. It will also be a big year for spiritual awakenings and enlightenment. It will be, in certain sectors, a mass awakening for a lot, because a lot of truth is going to come to the surface, which is going to wake a lot of people up. And those that are just beginning on the path will need guidance and assistance, because there's going to be a lot of confusion with people going, but I was told, I believed, and that's just going to be wiped off their slate, so to speak. 9 is also the vibration of the healer and the educator. Also visionary leaders with creative solutions, which we truly need now to move forward. We need those creative solutions for the health of our planet and ourself. And as we walk into this new era, we need those different solutions. Yes, thank you. It's, what's that word? Renaissance, thank you. This is a new renaissance, which again, we've spoke about this before. So there's going to be a lot of great inventions out there. So if anybody does have an invention you've been sitting on and you know that it would help the planet or people, go for it. Just go for it. Put it out there. So the masters and I would share that more than ever, your light is needed. And we ask you to continue to hold the light and have faith as the old constructs break down. Now is the time to invest in yourself, to really look within and love all of you, not just parts. Love all of you. Because when you learn to love who you are, that love vibrates out into the world, affecting everything. And remember that what you believe about yourself and others manifests. So it's very important to hold that light during this time. We are needed more than ever. So when you run across those individuals that are struggling, it is our joy, our service, to help lift them up when they need it, because this will be a rock and roll year. So yes, the masters just say keep that faith, call on us if you need us. So okay, all right. So we'll be talking more next month about what's coming, and next month could be totally changed again. So again, it's going to be very, very erratic energy. But in this month, the community of masters, Kronos, will be speaking about time and how to bend it. He came through with some really interesting information. I just kept having all these clues and signals about time, how that is also, our perspective is going to change on that. So if you would like to join us, my website is listed below and you can get more information and come join us. We'd love to have you. This month's light language transmission codes are for the expansion of light. As always, let the codes resonate within your body, and you can come back to them as often as you'd like. So these codes will help elevate us again to be able to hold more light. All right, so let's begin. Nauruase iya hushte aneasa la hamure aneana tai inasu akarenya nasu ishi isha ashu ushane aku arashe ane ene eara aare yanaya urunyana sayana te urinya hidia su isha etea nyanea suvia shu upa ate anayaku nene wu yanayase etia te ano Nyanana pia karinya se wiyanin su sa ante uranaye bu urtea sute ana asa lahayuriana sa amu urunya se shurapa nania ku ranana fiareniana parinana so yininya tuyo shuri itiasa na aia na uru imia su uta neu ia asu ipisha na ush te inia aku sa a onu ne asa atu irina yani nyana darina na imbera tush korana pia en la ha iishu es we urita yana ana na asu yani aka anana ur ase aka so ash ka osu ateata ne aura maye yarene diasu Nachrena biaga shuya te biatute nane uku uru asa. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sending you so many blessings for the month of January. Keep your light shining, and I will see you next month. Take care.